So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for day 3 of the family sessions. So we are going to be talking today with Kim from More Care. So she's going to take it away and walk us through some family info to do with your health plan. Thanks, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I know it's very possible we're all over the world. So whatever time it is for you, hello. I hope you are doing well. I know that there will be lots of info today from myself and the public library, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I do want to share with you all of the information about your plan and also how that relates to your family. I understand that majority of the students on the call will be starting in May. However, I do also understand that it is possible there may be some current students as well. So what I do want to start with is that, excuse me, if you are a May start student, you would opt in your family when you arrive in Canada. Okay, I'm going to show you where to do that. But if you, again, are a May start student, your coverage will start on May 1st, will run until August 31st, 2023. And when you opt in your family, their coverage would be the same as well on those days. Okay, so again, if you are a May start student, your family does not have coverage before you come. They will have coverage when you opt them in. Your coverage starts May 1st. Their coverage would also start May 1st. Even if you opt them in, let's say on, I don't know, like May 15th, it would still be backdated to May 1st, 2023. Okay? Anyone who is on the call, excuse me, who is a current student, you would have already opted in your family and their coverage would have started when your coverage did. So if you're a January start student, it would have started on January 1st. And if you are a September start student, it would have started on September 1st. So keep in mind, you can only opt in your family in your starting semester. So again, if you're a May start student, you have to opt them in the month of May. Otherwise, you will not be able to opt them in whatsoever, except for one, I don't know, exception, which is if your family arrives after you, they are able to be added to the plan from 30 days of their arrival in Canada. You would just have to go to the international office if you're opting in outside of the deadline dates, which means that the website portal would not be open. You just have to go to the international office and they'll be able to assist you of how to submit your family opt-in form if your family arrives late. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly share my screen and show you what your coverage is. This is all on morecare.ca. It is available for you to access before your coverage starts and, of course, when you have it. It is open to the public, so morecare.ca. You just will choose your school, which is Fanshawe College, and it will bring you here. So this is all of the information of your plan. I know it looks like a lot of information because, of course, it is. Excuse me, but this is all the information that you'll need. So here on this right side is all of the coverage information for your insurance coverage. Your family will have the exact same coverage that you do. So very quickly, I'll just run through here what you're covered for. So International OHIP Alternative. OHIP stands for Ontario Health Insurance Plan. That is what the Ontario residents have access to for our primary health coverage. And we have teamed up with Fanshawe International to create an alternative for you. So you have very, very similar primary coverage to those who live and reside in Ontario. So this is if you're going to the hospital, the doctor's office, if you need blood tests, anything along those lines. So you have $1 million lifetime benefit maximum, which means you have $1 million to go to the doctor. This is, again, for doctors, hospitals, medical services. You will notice that there's maximums within this as well. So there is a $25,000 psychiatric hospitalization maximum, $10,000 self-inflicted injuries, $25,000 oncology treatment, which is cancer treatments, and then $10,000 repatriation and $10,000 return home. I'm hopeful no one will not need to use any of this while they are at Fanshawe College, but it is good to know that if you do need access to hospitals or any of these specialists, that it is available to you. All right, I'm just going to quickly scroll. And again, as it relates to your family, you would have this coverage and your family would also have the same coverage as you. So you have prescription drug coverage, which is covered up to $5,000. And that's at 80% reimbursement. So your coverage, if you are a May start student, would be May 1st to August 31st, 2023. So that's what all of these maximums are for. Then come September, when the new school year and new policy year starts, that's when your coverage would reset to zero and you would get back to that full $5,000 maximum again. So again, prescription drugs, that's anything prescribed by a doctor. You and your family would each have up to $5,000 per policy year. Dental as well, $750 maximum. Extended health, we have various coverages within extended health. So there's acupuncturists, chiropractors, RMTs, which is registered massage therapist, physiotherapy. So take a look through here, but you and your family would have access to this as well, up to the maximum coverages. So you'll see here for this list of paramedical practitioners, there's $500 per practitioner per student year. Then there's also $500 combined for RMT and orthotherapy. Lots of information, I know, but take a look through the website to see everything that you and your family will be covered for. If you keep scrolling down, you will see that there is vision coverage as well. So this is the only aspect of the coverage that is unique from the rest. This is actually every 24 months. So if you were to come to Canada, get your eyes checked first day, May 1st, 2023, you would not be eligible under the Fanshawe Care Plan to access vision coverage until May 1st, 2025. But there is $80 for any one eye exam, and there's $150 for eyeglasses and or contacts. Okay, if we keep going, we have accident benefits. Not the most fun topic of discussion, but it is very important to just know that it is there for you. Again, both you and your family would have access to these benefits. Travel benefits as well. So you have emergency out of province coverage. So that would be anywhere in the world with the exception of your home country, as well as Ontario, of course. And you would have a lifetime benefit maximum of $5 million for any emergency injury or sickness when outside of the province for trips of up to 180 days. And again, your family would have this coverage too. If we continue on, I know I'm flying through this, but I'm mindful of time and I want to get to your questions. There's also a student wellness program available for you, My Wellness. This is 24/7 access to therapy. You would use your paramedical coverage for this, but again, you and your family would have access to this as well. And finally, enhanced coverage, which means some additional offerings for you. So there is early arrival coverage, and that is coverage that starts 30 days prior to your coverage start date to give you time to move into your new place, come to Ontario and get settled before your classes start in May. So if you were to opt in your family in May, and let's say they would have had to have seen a doctor while here before the May start, you would be able to submit those claims afterwards. But again, this is just for early arrival. So if you're already here, then unfortunately you don't have access to early arrival. That has come and gone. But if you're a May start student, you would have access to the OHIP alternative primary coverage 30 days prior to the effective start date, which is May 1st. All right, I just threw lots of information at you. Let's go back to the beginning. So this is all of your coverage information. Again, everything I went through, both you and your family would have access to. If we go to the Your Space section, this will have all of the different forms and medical card options that you require. So here are all of your booklets, in-depth look at your coverage. Here are the claim forms. This is the dependent opt-in form if you were to opt in late. But again, you would need to submit this through the international office because we do need their consent in order to process a late opt-in. The 2022-23 International Health Claim Form is what you and your family would fill out. So if you see here, it's all fillable. So you would type in all of your information. If you're submitting for yourself, you do not need to fill out the dependent information. But of course, if you are submitting for your dependent, you would simply fill out their information as well. It's important for us to kind of understand how your dependent coverage works. And what it really is they are being added to your coverage. So it is always your plan. So every time that you're filling out a claim form, or every time that you're going to the hospital or the pharmacy, they will always be speaking under your plan details and then accessing the dependent portion of it. So on the back end, it will be, Kimberly's plan, but the dependent of, my child would be on my plan. Their name would be under my plan and all under my files. So when you submit your family claim, you still fill out all this information about yourself, and then you fill out the information about your dependent. All right, this is just in my way. There we go, back to the beginning. So if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see student medical card. This is something else I want to mention to you about opting in your family. You will opt in your family, and that will be online. You will receive a confirmation of payment, and then they will be processed at the end of the family opt-in deadline, which is the end of the month. So if it's May, it would be at the end of May. Then you would be getting an email with information about your dependent opt-in and a specific dependent More Care card. Very important here. You do not need that card to go with your dependent to the hospital, doctor's office, dental office, pharmacy. You can still use your card because, as I said, all of their information is on your file. So do not be alarmed if you don't have the email or if you forgot the email. You can still just use your medical card. Another note, no physical card is sent to you. All of these cards would need to be printed off yourself. Keep scrolling down. There's discounts available to you. There is a provider map, which shows all of the hospitals, clinics that we direct bill with. Simply a reminder that you do not need to go to these specific places. You can go anywhere in Ontario, but these places do have connections with More Care, and you would not have to pay out of pocket. There's also some additional coupons here at the bottom and some frequently asked questions. Now, last but not least, it is important to note that we do have a contact center available every day from 8 a.m. to midnight. You can reach us by email, help@morecare.ca. You can call us, or you can chat right on the website. So if we go back, we're going to go back to the homepage. We're almost done. I know I've gone through lots of information in a fairly short amount of time. But if you go back to the page, when you do arrive in Canada, you will be able to opt in your family, and you will notice there will be a box here. It will open on May 1st if you're a May Start student. Right now, I cannot click on it because it's not open yet, but this is where you would opt in your family. So that's where you would put in your information, their information, as well as your payment information. There is an additional cost. You will be able to see that cost online when you opt them in. All right, I just shared lots of information. I'm sure we have questions, so I'm going to be here to answer them. And in the chat, where's my chat? It went away. But I will write down, there we are. I will write down morecare.ca where you can find everything. So it's www.morecare.ca, and that's where you are able to access the opting in of your family. I do see some questions on the side, so I'll just read those really quickly. There's just one. Nope, there's two. Okay, so first one is, thank you for the presentation. You're welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. That's nice. Is there any limit of time to apply to More Care to the exclusion OHIP? Which services are excluded from the More Care insurance? Okay, so I think what I'm understanding from that question is there any limit of time to apply for, I'm not sure what exclusion OHIP means, but I'm assuming you mean the OHIP alternative. So if you're talking about the More Care coverage, so you as an international student at Fanshawe will be automatically enrolled into the More Care coverage. Now, as it relates to your family, you will need to opt them in, and you will need to opt them in within your starting month of that semester. So if you are a May Start student, you have to opt them in within the month of May. Again, the only exception for that rule is if your family were to arrive later than you have 30 days from their date of arrival to opt them in. I hope that answers that question. Which services are excluded from the more care insurance? That's a very long, lengthy question. I highly recommend taking a look at the benefit booklet to see. You'll notice there are maximums. As I mentioned, there are maximums for oncology treatment, maternity coverage, repatriation. But there's not a whole ton that's excluded, but there is a list of exclusions in the booklet. So I recommend taking a look there for further information. The next question, could you please tell us how we can use the More Care to have a pediatric check for our children if we do not have a family doctor? Great question. So you can actually call us if you aren't sure where to start. So you can give us a call and we can actually set up an appointment for you. I do recommend that. That way we can kind of help you. You don't have to pay out of pocket, and we'll make sure that we get you into as close to a doctor as possible. I will admit the healthcare system in Ontario is, for family doctors is definitely slow. That's even on Canadian sides too. Getting a family doctor does take some time, but we can actually absolutely, help you and assist you in seeing a doctor as soon as possible while you're waiting to get a family doctor. Next question, how do you recommend to get dental checking? So you just go to the dentist, any dentist you choose. We do have a dental network that gives you additional discounts. So if you like to save some extra money, why not? Go to one of our network dentists. But again, you can go to any dentist actually in Canada. You can bring your More Care card with you and they'd be able to put the direct billing through for you. Someone says, I have a co-op from September to December. Do I need to extend my More Care and extend to my family for 3 months? You would need to talk to the international office just to confirm what's considered full-time if you need to opt in. I can't comment on if your specific co-op program will be considered full-time, but maybe just chat with Fanshawe just to confirm. But assuming that you'd be added back on the plan, you would need to enroll your family again. Yes. So anyone enrolling their family in May will need to enroll their family again in September. Okay. September is the beginning of the policy year. So you will need to opt them in again come the new policy year. Someone said, does the family insurance have the same coverage as a student? Yes, exactly the same coverage. The phone number to call for more information can all be found on the website. We have a chat service. Our phone number is right on the front page, as well as our email. So go to morecare.ca. I'll type it again if you need. The number is on the website. It's 1-888-985-1552. But I would highly recommend going to the website and finding that information, just because if you want to maybe chat instead, send an email, then it's all there. Someone said, please explain the steps to complain expenses for drugs. So you would use the claim form for any claims. We do have a contact center available that can help walk you through it. But actually with your drug benefits, you can typically have direct billing from the pharmacist. So you would just need to bring your More Care card with you and you would share that with the pharmacist, and then they would be able to put your claim through for you right there. So the only thing that you would need to pay is whatever is owed out of pocket from you. All right, I think that is all the questions. I know that you do have the library here too to talk, so I don't want to take up too much of this half hour, but thank you so much for chatting. And again, please go to morecare.ca, just put it back there to access any other information and answer any questions by our call center.
Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you.
No problem. And really quickly, yes, you do have to pay for your family insurance. I just saw that pop up. So there is an additional payment for it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Okay, so we are going to turn it over to Jennifer, and she's with us from the London Public Library. So I have made you co-host, so you should be able to share your screen if you wanted, and we are all set.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, hello everybody. My name is Jennifer Doty and I'm an outreach librarian at the London Public Library. from the Central Branch, and I'm super excited to be sharing some of the services and resources available at the London Public Library. So to begin, we offer a great collection of books, but we have so much more. We have magazines, newspaper articles, music CDs, board games, musical instruments. You can even borrow Wi-Fi hotspots as well as park passes. In addition to our physical collection, I wanted to go over a few of our key digital resources. And these encompass everything from ebooks, audiobooks, language learning tools, arts and crafts tutorials, and so much more. So to begin, I wanted to highlight Libby. So this is a digital media platform for ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines. It is a fantastic resource that we have and very popular, and one that is very similar to it as well is Hoopla, which allows patrons to borrow ebooks, comics, audiobooks, movies, TV shows, and documentaries. And one key thing that's great about using Libby is our interlibrary loan services. And with your library card, this allows you to borrow titles from some partner libraries. So we have reciprocal borrowing through Libby with the Hamilton Public Library, the Burlington Public Library, Mississauga, Ottawa, and starting tomorrow on March 1st, Kingston Frontenac Public Library. Next, I want to move on to Canopy. So Canopy is great for watching movies and films. And I believe you get 4 play credits a month, and they reset on the first day of the month. So that's something to keep in mind when using Canopy. I also want to highlight Creative Bug. So this is a resource for arts and crafts tutorial videos. So classes, they're taught by expert instructors, and sometimes there's even downloadable templates and patterns for the craft activities, and new videos are released every day. So it's always good to check in frequently to Creative Bug. Next, I want to highlight Cantube Station. So this is the digital resource for French language materials, ebooks and audiobooks for all ages. They carry a lot of popular titles, as well as new titles in a variety of different genres for a variety of different ages. And lastly, I want to highlight LinkedIn Learning. So this provides tons and tons of videos taught by industry experts and for skill building. And what's fantastic about this is there's so much included in it. You can get music lessons, coding tutorials, tutorials on graphic design, social media marketing. There really is a lot through this service, so I would highly recommend checking it out. Lastly, I want to go over our language learning tools, which are great. So we have both Mango Languages and Pronunciator. So Mango Languages has over 70 different languages to learn, and you can create a profile to track your progress using that app and service. And Pronunciator also has over 100 different languages to learn, and it has American Sign Language as one of the resources. So now I want to go over library cards and account types. So you can receive a library card by visiting one of our 16 branch locations in the city. All that's required to sign up for a library card is a piece of photo ID and something like a piece of documentation that shows your London address on it. This can be anything from a piece of mail, perhaps a hydro bill, a phone bill. So lots of different options there. In regards to e-accounts, so we have e-accounts as well, and this specifically gives you access to our digital resources collection. So some of the digital resources I highlighted, and if you ever stop by a branch, we have our new pamphlets here that kind of showcase all of our digital resources that are available. So if you sign up for an e-account, you can do that right from the homepage of our website at lpl.ca. And lastly, it's been a few years now, the library has gone to like a fine-free model. So for fines, really, for books, it would really be if the book was damaged or we knew it was like never coming back for fines, but you can always chat with your librarian about a situation if a book is late. There's also options where sometimes it can auto renew itself if there's no holds on it. So yeah, there's a lot more flexibility with options for the library being fine free. So that's something definitely to chat when you go to initially get your library card for more details about. So next, I wanted to talk about some of the resources available at our different branch locations. So of course we have computers and study rooms. So computers can be used for 2 hours a day. You just input your library card number and password to gain access. In addition, we have study rooms that can be booked for 2 hours a day as well. You just need to go up to the front circulation desk at the branch to let them know that you'd like to book one, and they'll let you know if one is available. We also have music practice rooms specifically at our central branch downtown. And each location also has printers and photocopiers, and we have assistive technologies on our computers as well. So next, I want to talk a bit about some of our programs and events and resources for children. So to start, I want to highlight one of our most popular programs, which is our story time. So this is a great opportunity for the whole family for early literacy. So we have stories, rhymes, and songs, and so much more. It is so much fun. I love doing story times at the LPL. We also have our new sensory story times that began, I believe, in the fall of 2022. And this is an adaptive story time idea for children with sensory processing sensitivities. And I also have with me flyers. So we frequently make sure to check out the libraries because we have tons of programs. This is our brochure for our March break programming that's upcoming. So we always have different programs, and I'll mention later in the presentation, if you just go to our website, to our programs and event page, you can get all the details on upcoming programs and events. I also just quickly wanted to touch on the Baby's Book Bag program. So this is for new and expecting families. If you just go up to the front desk, circulation desk, you can get a kit. It comes with a few early literacy resources as well as 3 board books. And we also have the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program, which basically is a program where you track your books reading progress. And once you've reached 1,000 books, you get a prize from the library, which is awesome. You get a certificate of completion, which is awesome, the program. So for adults programs and resources, we have, of course, book clubs that we always like to highlight. We have the Together at Home book club, which is virtual. And if you check our events calendar online, and I just kind of screenshotted kind of a little bit of March, kind of what the layout looks like. You can find book clubs at your local library branch. And there's so many activities and events going on. We have everything from author talks, movies, you can join a knitting group, and there is so much more. So I highly recommend to check that out. And I quickly wanted to highlight another program that we have that's really popular for adults is our book club in a bag. And we have our flyers here that showcase all of the different titles available for our book club in a bags. And so there's 150 titles currently. And so each bag includes 10 copies of a book plus an audiobook copy and large print copy if they are available. So for reading recommendations, we have the We Pick and personal picks. So for the We Pick program on our website, you would fill out a form and tell us kind of what you're looking for. So this would be what type of genre of books you like to read. Give us a few of your favorite authors or recent titles that you really liked, and our librarians will pick out titles for you that can be picked up at your chosen library branch. And the second option is personal picks. So this one would be more of a research focus that we can assist you with. So for personal picks, say I wanted books on aviation in the 1950s, something really specific. Our librarians will take a look through both our digital and physical collection of books to be able to get those resources to you. And the last thing I wanted to highlight in my presentation today is our labs. So our labs is located on at the central branch of the London Public Library on the 2nd floor. We have a variety of great tech resources. So for example, we have our 3D printing service that can be used, and you just pay for the base cost of, you pay for the cost of the filament that it takes to make. And when you send over a 3D printed file to our labs librarians, they'll be able to give you a quote for a price for that. And we also have button making, for example. But I want to move on to the media lab. So the media lab is great for photography and video making. It has a giant green screen room. And there's even Mac computers updated with a lot of new software programs for video editing and photo editing, for example. We also have the studio, which is our music recording room. This is great also if you're interested in making a podcast. And our memory lab is the picture in the bottom right corner here of the computer. And you basically digitize older files, film, for example, and yeah, helps digitize materials. And lastly, the creativity lab is the space on the second floor. It is a big room where we have our button makers. We have sewing machines that can be booked for free for up to 2 hours. We have like our 3D printing, as well as computers with a lot of different great photo and video software editing programs on them. Oh, sorry, and I had one more slide about if you're interested at all in volunteering at the library. A new model that we've started is we have an information session that's on the first Monday of the month at 6:30 p.m. You're able to register for this through our website. If you just go to our volunteer section of our website, you can get all the information. And thank you so much, everyone. And if you have any other questions outside the presentation, feel free to send an email to info@lpl.ca. I've also included my email as well. But aside from that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
And Jennifer, it does look like there is a couple questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me stop sharing my screen, go back to gallery mode here, and let me see. Yes, so our website, if you go to, it'll just be at the top of like the headings that we have. We'll have our programs and event page for children's programs. And then you could also like do an advanced search to sort through specifically like children's programs at the Byron branch, for example, or you'll be able to put in keywords for certain programs as well. So all that information is available on the website. And do we need to request to schedule to be able to use the labs? Yes, for a variety of the different services at the labs. For example, like booking a sewing machine for free, kind of similar to booking a study room. You would just either through a phone call, you'd be able to call the library in advance to book, depending on like what resource you wanted to use, like the studio to record like a podcast or a musical instrument, for example. Yeah, you just need to contact, so that's specifically our central branch where the lab is located as well. And I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Jennifer, I just had a question about the different campuses we have here. Do you
Yes.
have branches near each of our locations within London?
Within London, yes. So I believe the south would be closest to the Jalma branch because that one's near the White Oaks Mall. The main campus not downtown, the main campus kind of on the east side of the city is close to both our Beacock and East London branch. And the downtown campus for Fanshawe is located very close to our central branch.
Perfect, thank you.
And is there a limited time per day to use the lab? I think it's about 2 hours for booking for a specific like service that we have. And we also have detailed information in this flyer here if you're interested about learning more about the labs. And all this information is available on our website, and all the information, all the flyers that I've showed today is available on our website as well. But yeah, I believe it's 2-hour limit a day, but perhaps if someone else, like for example, isn't using it after, you might be able to inquire about like extending the time depending, but at the moment it is 2 hours a day is the limit. For photography, I think you have to bring in your own camera for photography. So that one, and then using like the computer software is free, I believe. Sorry, that would be more of a question for one of our labs librarians. But if you check out our website and you had any further, more like in-depth questions about the labs, they would be happy to answer them. Do you have after school programs? We have programs, yeah, that happen at different times. We do have morning programs, afternoon programs, and evening programs as well. We even have a specific after school club program at a few of our branches as well, which is great for just having a good environment and also like homework support help as well. Yes, tons and tons of different programs. Highly recommend checking out our events page.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. If there's no other questions, then we will let Jennifer go. But thank you for sharing all this. This is so much, so many resources that our students can hopefully access and then know about even prior to coming to make a plan to make sure that they do have resources lined up. And
sorry, I just wanted to say, always feel free to come into your local library branch. We're always happy to answer questions. And I see in the chat, the after school program that I did mention, yes, it's for school age children. For volunteering age 14, I know we have for volunteering, I know for sure we have our teen advisory group, which is like a volunteer program for teens at the library, where you just give input on what upcoming teen programs and services and for the library. So I know that one's one. I think I'd have to double check on that one for volunteer. But yeah, I know that one is one of our volunteer programs for teens. But as well, feel free to email info@lpl.ca for more details. And it's all available, all of the information on our volunteer page as well.
And I did just add in the email address there to send
perfect
questions to. So perfect. So if there's no more questions, then we'll wrap up your portion, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, everyone. It was great to chat with everyone.
Thank you. And I just wanted to let everyone know that we are going to be hosting a 10-day series. So this series is a bit more in depth, and it kind of covers all of the resources internally that you have access to here at Fanshawe. So it's not geared specifically to our family groups, but it's just geared to all incoming new students. So that might also be a great option if you wanted to attend that. And I'm just putting in the Fanshawe Cares email, and you can send us an email. We can send you out the link. If you're interested in joining for the 10-day series. With that being said, I just want to wish everybody a great day. Hopefully all of your traveling and planning to come works out with ease. And we are looking forward to seeing you all here for the May term. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Thank you for joining us.